Look around social media, the workplace, or even your friend group, and you will see it everywhere. Coffee mugs that say, choose joy, t-shirts demanding positive vibes only, friends telling you to just look on the bright side when your world is falling apart. On the surface, it sounds like great advice, but what if I told you that this obsession with constant happiness is actually a trap? Welcome back. Today, we are exploring exactly why positive vibes only is destroying your mental health, toxic positivity, and the shadow. What society sells us as optimism is often a dangerous psychological defense mechanism known as toxic positivity. It's the belief that no matter how dire or difficult a situation is, people should maintain a positive mindset. But when we force a smile and refuse to acknowledge our pain, we aren't curing ourselves. We are just feeding a dark, hidden part of our psyche. To understand why this modern trend is so destructive to our mental health, we have to look back at the groundbreaking work of the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung. When you experience a loss, a failure, or a betrayal, your mind naturally generates negative emotions. This is a biological and psychological response meant to keep you safe and help you process reality. But in a culture of positive vibes only, we are taught that feeling sad, angry, or afraid is a sign of weakness. So what do? We engage in spiritual bypassing. We use spiritual ideas or overly optimistic mantras to avoid facing unresolved emotional issues, psychological wounds, and unfinished developmental tasks. When a friend tells you they are struggling and you reply with everything happens for a reason, or just be grateful for what you have, you are committing emotional invalidation. You are telling them that their current reality is wrong. And when we do this to ourselves, the damage is severe. This false positivity doesn't make the pain go away. Bottling up anger, sadness, and grief is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. It takes a massive amount of energy, and eventually it is going to explode to the surface. These unfelt feelings become repressed emotions, and in the world of psychology, repressed emotions never just vanish, they simply relocate. Where do those relocated feelings go? They sink deep into the subconscious mind. Carl Jung proposed that the human psyche is divided into different parts. The persona is the mask we wear for the world, the part of us that smiles at work and posts happy photos online. But behind the persona lies the shadow self. The shadow is the psychological dumping ground for everything about ourselves that we or society deem unacceptable. If you were taught that anger makes you unlovable, your anger goes to the shadow. If you were taught that sadness is a burden to others, your grief goes to the shadow. When you rigidly enforce a mindset of good vibes, you are systematically denying your full humanity. You are cutting off vital parts of your psychological immune system and feeding them to the dark. The more you ignore the shadow, the stronger, denser, and more autonomous it becomes. This is why people who seem the most artificially positive often have the most explosive outbursts. It's why you might suddenly snap at a loved one or engage in destructive behaviors you can't explain. The shadow will always demand to be felt. If you do not give it a conscious voice, it will take over your actions when you least expect it. So, if toxic positivity is the poison, what is the antidote? The answer is shadow work. Shadow work is the conscious practice of exploring your inner darkness. It is the brave act of sitting with your pain, your jealousy, your rage, and your shame and inviting them to the table. It is replacing the demand for happiness with the capacity for emotional processing. Instead of chasing an impossible state of constant bliss, the goal of Jungian psychology is wholeness. This is the process of integrating the shadow. By acknowledging your darker traits and repressed feelings, you take away their secret power over you. You realize that your anger is there to protect your boundaries. Your sadness is there to show you what you value. When you stop forcing a fake smile, you make room for authentic emotions. You become a whole, grounded human being capable of real empathy, real leadership, and real connection. You don't need to be positive all the time. You just need to be real. To reclaim your power, you have to go into the dark and reclaim the parts of yourself you left behind. If this video resonated with you, I want to hear from you. Question for the comments. Have you ever caught yourself using toxic positivity to avoid a difficult emotion? Let me know below. I'll be reading and replying to as many as I can. If you want to learn more about how to stop self-sabotage and master your psychology, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. To truly master your shadow, you need to understand the psychological tricks it uses against you every day. Click the video on your screen right now to dive deeper into the mind. I'll see you there.